What's going on, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood, diehard, keep it real fan slash keep it real commentator from Philly here. I don't think that I'm going to be posting for a minute, especially on these sports topics, because I'm highly disenfranchised with the status of the sports situation in Philly right now. So I'm going to comment on a little bit on everybody, meaning, the teams in Philly. I guess I'll start with the Sixers because they really prompted this, this feeling, this emotion, this attitude that I'm bringing to this video today. The Sixers have lost, I believe, 3 in a row. I'm not sure, but I know they lost to the Indiana Pacers. If I'm not sure, Embiid or Maxey didn't play, or Tobias Harris. I know they lost to the Golden State Warriors yesterday, I believe, and they lost to Portland Trailblazers. Yesterday, Embiid played, but Maxey didn't play, and Tobias Harris played too. What I see with the Sixers is their organization with no class. They just have no class. And mainly where the no class situation starts with the Sixers is, right, it kind of upsetted me and made me mad that Doc Rivers was hired as the coach for the Bucks. But let's see. But when I saw that, I said to myself, the Bucks in trouble. Because Doc Rivers is not the coach to get a team over the hump and win a championship. Now, you might say, okay, he won it in Boston. But once again, I reiterate, he had great basketball minds and great basketball talent and great basketball determination players on his team. So many of it, the players that was on his team that he coached is in the Hall of Fame, or they going to the Hall of Fame. So with that being said, I thought about the damage that Doc Rivers did while he was here. And when I say damage, I mean not only Doc Rivers, not only Daryl Morey, right, and Elton Brand. I have to put him in there too. Right now, you got these teams in the NBA that are young and they are talented, right? And when I see the Sixers play against these young, talented teams, especially the Pacers looked at like they were 20 years old, a 20-year-old man playing against a 50-year-old man. The Sixers was the 50-year-old man and the Pacers was the 20-year-old man. This is what I saw. Like, they were big, they were athletic, and they were running up and down, where the Sixers got Marcus Morris, Patrick Beverly. The Sixers got age on their legs. And I go back to, like, Doc Rivers. He never wanted to develop any talent. He never let the young boys play. He didn't want to give Maxey any rhythm. And he didn't want to give Paul Reed any rhythm. Paul Reed had 30 points and 13 rebounds the other day against Denver, which they lost to Denver. So the Sixers lost about 4 straight. Doc Rivers never developed any young talent. Now, I see the same thing in Nick Nurse. The same exact thing. Nick Nurse is sitting here telling the sports beat writers and reporters that ask him questions at the mic. He's saying to them He's trying to figure it out. It's not hard. And we're mainly to blame for it too as fans, right? Most of these teams have to go through a revamping process, meaning they're going to have to start from scratch, right? They're going to have to grab their talent, pick their talented players, and develop them, right? The teams I'm talking about, they're going to have to tell the fan, listen, that this is what we're doing, and you're going to have to deal with it if you don't want to deal with it, because we don't want you making commentaries and videos about what we ain't doing, because we're doing it now, right? So we're in a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation with y'all. But this is what we're doing. And the Sixers have some of the best young talent in the NBA. They got this young boy named Lofton that they got down in the G League. This young boy remind me of Charles Barkley and Big Baby combined in one. But better. This young boy got a 3-point shot. Let this young boy come up and play. They got DeQuavion Smith. Tough young boy. They got Council Fourth. Tough young boy. Let these young boys come up and play with Maxey. Let DeQuavion Smith come up and rally and play alongside Maxey and show Maxey what a killer is. Maxey is a streaky killer, right? 1 minute he want to bust out for 42. The next minute he comes up, missing. Or when when it's time for, listen, Maxey doesn't know how to be like, you know what? For one, I'm the man. Two, who I'm playing against. Okay, their best player, I'm coming up against their best player. Right? Maxey don't know how to do that. Maxey, not that he doesn't know how to do it. He just I've come to learn that that's not Maxey's personality. So now the NBA is pushing for superstars, and they pushing for people to go to the All-Star game. Maxey probably be one of them, right? They want some fresh meat in these All-Star games, and so they pushing for Maxey to be an All-Star. That's fine. But I'm talking about us as a team. No. Maxey is not that primary dude. He can't be. Now, like I said, Nick Nurse is just as bad as Doc Rivers, right? So I'm leaving it. I'm done with the Sixers. I'm done with them, right? Joel Embiid is having a historic season. But the thing about Joel Embiid is, and I got to respect the way he's playing the game under Nick Nurse's system. But the thing about Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid rises to a height in the beginning of the season, and then he just declines. And that's what you're witnessing with Joel Embiid, right? He done pushed and gave it all that he can, all in the beginning, and then he's out of gas at the end. See, and the boy Joker or Jokic, right, understood that about himself, and he understood that about how the shelf life of big men in the NBA is. So he has an unbelievable workout regimen on the off season. Embiid doesn't do that at all. Embiid, I don't need to do that. I'm just a skilled player. So the Sixers, I don't like Nick Nurse. I was on the fence about saying something bad about him or something good about him. Well, I don't like Nick Nurse because he has the young talent and he doesn't play it, right? I don't like the Sixers because the Sixers is not pushing for Nick Nurse to let these young boys come together and play. You're talking about what you need to do with Tobias Harris. You could keep the, listen, if Tobias Harris' contract is ending, you can keep Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a good groomer of young players. He's a good groomer of young players, right? But you got to let these young players come up. And us as fans, we got to accept that we're going to have some losing seasons. But guess what? I'm talking about the Sixers. They got some great talent. And I'm talking about this young boy Lofton and Smith and Council the Fourth. Listen, they got, because now you got Indiana Pacers, you got Atlanta. They like the grown young boys. But then you got Oklahoma City. You understand what I'm saying? You got the Utah Jazz. These young teams is up. And even the Pistons. They're not going to be on the bottom for long. The Magic. These young boys is tough. And they went through their losing seasons and they went through their development processes, and they're here now. And the Sixers is behind on that. The Sixers got old mixed with new. That's not, no. It's not going to get it. And it showed when they played the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to briefly mention the Eagles. The Eagles got a new offensive coordinator, whoop-de-doo. Defensive coordinator, whoop-de-doo. Seth Joyner is one of the best defensive minds, in my humble opinion. And they didn't even reach out to Seth Joyner. Sad. Sad. A brilliant X and O's minded person, especially when it comes to football. No football schemes like crazy. Listen, he's not just a commentary, he's a fan, but he has a brilliant mind. And watching them for years, I would not settle for less. But the problem the Eagles got is Jalen Hurts. And I'm going to tell you why. I watched the Ravens game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I watched Patrick Mahomes, and I watched Lamar, night and day. One thinks it's a game, and the other know that it's way beyond some goddamn just playing some game. Patrick Mahomes is he's the standard. That if I was a quarterback, right, I'm going to tell you who else is up and coming that plays like Patrick Mahomes. The young boy Love down there in Green Bay. That young boy is a playmaker. And what these quarterbacks are not, right? Now, I'm not saying that Lamar is not a playmaker, but Lamar, see, you got these guys, the football is sometimes just, listen, it's a means to an end for them, right? They don't see greatness next to them. They don't see it, right? And my problem with Jalen Hurts is when you go up against certain teams and you go up against the quarterback of the team, it should be personal. It should be personal. I'm not going to let this guy, not just the team, I'm not going to let this quarterback outplay me. And I've seen Jalen Hurts get outplayed by some of the quarterbacks that I look at and say, are you kidding me, dog? Like, are you kidding me? Listen. If you can get rid of Jalen Hurts and get rid of that contract, get rid of him. But as a fan and as the Philadelphia Eagles fans, you're going to argue me down about this. Yeah. Nah, man, he just need one more. I'm telling you, man, what I saw in the Super Bowl when they was there, I said to myself, I'm going to see if Jalen Hurts let Patrick Mahomes outplay him. Because Patrick Mahomes went into the halftime injured. Did you see that game with the Ravens? That boy did everything that he needed to do, that he had to do to win that game. That's a gun. That's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Jalen Hurts is not that. So the Phillies, probably the classiest organization in Philly. The Flyers, classy organization. But the Flyers is like a family member that they do stuff and like, you don't really get all that mad at them, But the Flyers is, we'll see. So that's my take, and enjoy your day.